What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the vlog, and today our topic is about dropping carbs short term. So yung iba kasi confused sila when they drop their carbs. They don't know what to do. Hindi nila alam kung anong gagawin nila sa fat macro and protein macros nila. So today i-discuss natin yan, and just keep watching and let's go. Let's go.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So usually people think that when you drop carbs from your diet, you have to replace it with fats, which kind of makes sense because when you drop your carbs, insulin will go down, so you need to add fats for energy balance. Just like when you're doing a ketogenic diet, that's what they do. So whenever you cut your carbs, your body will dig into your fat for energy. Okay? So it makes sense because it will accelerate the fat burning process. So that's the thing, when you drop your carbs, it will dig into your fat storage. It will use those fats as energy source. So the thing is, or the problem is, if you don't know anything about fats is like double the calories of your carbs. So 1 gram of fat is equals to 9 calories. 1 gram of carbs is equals to 4 calories. So it's like double, more than double. So if you don't know anything about fats, it's very easy to overshoot your calories. At the end of the day, it's calories in, calories out. So when you drop your carbs but you didn't pay attention on your fats, it will not make sense, because at the end of the day, as I've said, calories in, calories out. So whenever I have a client who's on prep, for example, and he's way behind his prep, for example, he's 6 weeks out from the show, but he looks like 16 weeks out or 12 weeks out from a show. So in order to expedite the process, to speed up the process of fat burning, we're dropping the carbs, and I'm adding more veggies on his diet, more green veggies like asparagus, cucumber, celery, those kinds of green veggies, even lettuce. So to have a volume meal. Okay, when I say volume meal, it's like a lot of vegetables with extra protein, like for example a vegetable salad with chicken breast on top, something like that, to compensate for dropping the carbs. So I'm not adding or replacing the carbs with fats, because as I've said, fat is calorie dense. It's like double the calories of the carbs. So it will not make sense if you will do that. So if ever I'm adding a fat on his macros, or it's more on like a form of MCT oil, coconut oil, or almond nuts, those kinds of fats. When I say, hey bro, okay, you can have some fats on your diet, you can increase your fats a bit, it's not like you can put peanut butter or almond butter on everything. Okay, it's not like that, because it's calorie dense and it's very easy to overshoot, especially if you're not measuring your portions and if you are just measuring with your spoon, because it's very easy to overshoot, especially when it comes to fats like peanut butter, almond butter, and you're just measuring it by like per spoon. So it's a big mistake, so don't do that, please. So as I've said, what I recommend usually is add more green veggies on your diet. Basically asparagus, cucumber, celery, those kinds of foods or veggies are natural detoxifiers and natural diuretics, so it can help your kidney as well. So you have to increase your protein intake, or keep it constant. Or if you really drop your carbs, like for example to 0 to 50 grams, of course you need to increase your protein intake. So why protein intake, not fat intake? Or why protein calories, not fat calories? Because protein is harder to be converted metabolically from to fats. I mean, to body fats. So converting protein to body fats metabolically will be too demanding. So it takes more time. So coach, why not fast? Why not fast? Because fats, dietary fats, are readily stored as fats. It's that simple. So one more reason is carbs and protein, they have a thermal effect in your body. So it increases your body temperature, or it keeps you warm. So at some point, it helps on the fat burning aspect. So when you drop the carbs, your next option will be protein. So that's it. So take home message here is, when you go on a low carb diet, or when you drop your carbs or you pull down your carbs, you don't always have to replace it with fats, especially if you want to expedite or speed up the process. So it's very simple. You have to increase your protein intake, keep your fat constant. You don't have to replace your carbs with fat calories, okay? And then drop your carbs and add more veggies, green veggies on your diet. It's very simple. But of course, you need to suffer a bit. But if you will go under a prolonged low carb diet, it's a different story, okay? So for low carb diet, you need to introduce refeed on your diet, and also some cheat meals as well, because carbs, it activates thyroid hormones T3 and T4. So you will reduce your thyroid hormone production if you keep your low carb diet for a long period of time. So it will affect your body's metabolism. So let's go back to the short term dropping of carbs. So after you do that, like for example, you drop your carbs for a week or for 2 weeks, and then you're planning to go back. So how do you add your carbs back in? So how do you do that? Well, that's a very good question. How do you add your carbs back in? So how do you do that? First, just go back to your baseline macros, okay? So for example, your baseline macros for carbs is 300 grams, and then you drop it for 1 week or 2 weeks to 50 grams or 100 grams. So just go back to 300 grams. And even your protein, you increase your protein during your low carb week. Just go back to your baseline protein intake, and your carbs, of course, your fats will be as is, okay? So at that point, your body will be more efficient and more responsive on absorbing all the nutrients that you will give, and also you are more insulin sensitive, so you will feel and see the difference. Your mood will be better, you'll be more vascular, leaner and drier, even if you increase your carbohydrates. Why? Because your body is very depleted, so it will be like a sponge. So all the nutrients from the food that you will eat will be absorbed very efficiently. So I think that's it for today, and I hope you learned something new. And just a quick recap: when you drop your carbs short term, and you don't really have to replace the carb calories by fat calories, okay? And then when you do a prolonged dropping of carbs, you have to introduce refeed and cheat meals, and that's another topic that I will discuss later on. So if you have some comments, suggestions, or any questions, feel free to comment down below. And that's it. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next vlog.